Generation 3. If you haven't seen my previous videos covering the first two generations, they'll be linked down in the description below. Anyways, Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire. These games are played on the Game Boy Advance, and with all the technological advancements that comes with that change, surely these games can't be as creepy as the previous generations, right? To start off, I wanted to talk about the Hoenn region itself. The Game Boy Advance hosts the best graphics of any Pokemon game in my opinion, so naturally that reflects nicely on the Hoenn region. But then you realize the lush green forests, relaxing beaches, and the calm ocean are at the mercy of the two legendary Pokemon, Groudon and Kyogre. As we discover later in these games, these Pokemon can easily end all life in the Hoenn region. These fateful apocalyptic events take place in the city of Pseudopolis. Pseudopolis already creeps me out with how unnatural everything looks, from its layout to its architecture, so when Groudon engulfs the Hoenn region in a drought, it makes Pseudopolis feel all the more alien-like. You're in a race against time to contain the apocalypse. Residents have locked themselves indoors, and of course, in usual Pokemon fashion, lovely music plays in the background. Now, the drought theme certainly puts Lavender Town to shame, but we also must ask the question, would Groudon have ultimately caused everything in the Hoenn region, maybe even the world, to slowly die from dehydration, transforming landscapes into uninhabitable deserts? Then we have Kyogre. As opposed to sending Hoenn into a drought, Kyogre is instead ready to flood it. Sea levels will rise, destroying entire towns, landscapes, and the lives of people and Pokemon. Although the flood theme isn't as outright disturbing as the drought theme, I think it has enough urgency to really make the player feel the anxiety of the event. This is the first time in the series that players deal with life or death doomsday scenarios. Although later in the series these apocalyptic events become more and more abstract, I think what I find to be so disturbing here is how grounded in reality these threats are. Just look at the world around us. Droughts and rising sea levels are no stranger to Earth. As opposed to saving the universe, the multiverse, our dimension, or whatever Pokemon has us doing later on, people dedicate their lives in real life to fighting the battles of Groudon and Kyogre on a daily basis. We might not realize that when we're kids innocently playing Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire, but returning to the games as adults, there's an extra unsettling layer to the showdown at Pseudopolis City. Let's take a look at the regional map for a moment. You'll notice that a good chunk of the Hoenn region is the ocean. Yeah, IGN sure had a problem with that one, but I'm bringing it up here instead to talk about how that creeps me out. You see, the thought of being out at sea unsettles me. Now, I don't suffer from thalassophobia or the fear of deep water, but instead, it's more of the mystery of what could be out at sea or underwater that frightens me. Lo and behold, Ruby and Sapphire has quite the aquatic location, the abandoned ship. As it turns out, this ship isn't so abandoned since trainers practically live there, but regardless, this is a decaying ship that crashed many years ago. The rooms of previous passengers are destroyed, not only from the crash, but from what also looks like people exploring the abandoned vessel over time. Abandoned places are both intriguing and unsettling due to the way they act as a time capsule, but an abandoned location in the middle of the ocean? You may disagree, but that's downright disturbing to me. I don't know why people, let alone children, are hanging out here, but I suppose just like in real life, people are drawn to abandoned places. I just can't help but think shipwrecks are symbolic of a tragic fate. Ruby and Sapphire doesn't have the uneasiness that comes with an early Game Boy game like Generation 1, and it doesn't have the creepy themes that come with Generation 2. Instead, Ruby and Sapphire construct its region, legendary Pokemon, and evil organization in a way that resembles our real world and the health of planet Earth. It's definitely fun when a game builds out its world in a way that can be interpreted as creepy. It's something else entirely when a game holds up a mirror to our world and asks us to reflect on it. Never has there been a better moment in history to grasp the tragic themes of the Hoenn region than right now. You might find that instead of escaping into the world of Pokemon, you're seeing places and people that seem all too familiar. Thanks for joining me on another Pokemon analysis. This certainly isn't the end of this series, so I hope you join me again in the future. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks and have a good one.